Hear me out. Just hear me out before you crucify me. That thing, that plan, that relationship, that job position, that place you were, it didn't work out. I mean, you put in so much effort, put in so much effort, and it didn't still work out. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't meant to work out. Imagine um, inserting fuel, water into a fuel engine, it won't start. Or trying to charge a fuel powered motor, it won't work. So before you crucify me, let me explain further. So today is the 10th day in December. We are like 21 days away from the end of the year, and it's a pleasure to get to this point. I'm honored and I'm grateful to God for sustenance and provision, not just physical, financial provision, but mental health provision. You have no idea what you would have been through if these provisions weren't made available to you. My name is Vaso, and welcome to my podcast. I was trying to explain to you that those things that you put your hands to do, it didn't work out. I know the famous Timmy Dakolo will say, everything you put your hands go work. It's not everything that you put your hands that will work out. I'm serious. I'm not joking. Not everything you put your hands to do that will work out. And here's the reason why. There are some things that will literally kill you. Trust me. If God doesn't rescue you from them, or if God doesn't rescue them from you, there's some things that would kill you. There are some things that you would kill. You would destroy, literally destroy. If God doesn't rescue them from your hands, no matter how good your intentions are, no matter how laudable and awesome they are, they will die. And no matter how laudable their intentions or those things you are putting your hands to do that would kill you are, it won't end up the way you think they would end up. They won't end up the way you think they would end up. Now, the thing is, the Bible talks about granting the desires of your heart. That's what it sounds like. When you're speaking when you are speaking your native dialect, there's a way it happens that some words come before certain words, but the meanings are different. For example, the Hausa word for I am hungry is inajin nwa. So what it means is, the literal translation is I am hearing hunger, or I am feeling hunger. There are some words that the action comes before the I'm not even an English student, but you shall understand what I'm saying now. What that scripture talks about is, it will give your heart what to desire. It's not necessarily the desires of your heart. It will give your heart what to desire. And the funny thing is, a lot of people don't understand that if God gives your heart what to desire, these things might not necessarily be what you wanted initially. So many people want to do what the in thing is, want to join the bandwagon of, I'm in a relationship, or I'm a scientist, or I'm a fintech person, start up this, all that. But God might just be calling you. You might be hustling and saying, "Oh, I want to be one of the fintech guys." I know, but God might just be calling you to come and start a farm. Yeah, yeah. You might be in the farm and you're like, "Oh, this is where my life is going to end." I'm like, God might just be calling you to come and become a psychologist. And one way you know these things are one way you know this thing. This is what I'm saying is you wouldn't find the complete absolute peace you have doing what you're doing. Oh, there are times when you feel so comfortable and you're happy at where you are, but if you did an overall review, you would realize that your spirit man wants more. You see that realization, that part where your spirit man wants more. Don't take it for granted. Don't throw it down and say, "Oh, I'm not up to the task. I'm not able to do these things. This is not where I am. This is not what I have done." Maybe you have been in the tech space for all 25 years of your life, and God is just calling you to come to the farm, to come and farm maybe something that the society would need, but they do not know they would need it till you are there. Or it's that relationship that, oh, great guy, great girl, and somehow you guys don't seem to see eye to eye in a lot of things. I mean, of course there are different reasons why a lot of this happens, but not it's not always about. Sometimes it might just be that maybe the lady is after he's just lusted after the guy lusted after her. Maybe she saw her, oh, she has great features, or she's beautiful, she's smart, but in the grand scheme of things, you know that she doesn't fit into your calling. And your calling, I'm not saying, I mean calling, I don't mean being a pastor or being a priest. I'm saying, or being a reverend minister, a revered or reverend minister. But I'm saying that so many of us, all of us are called to do certain things. Some are called to pack waste bins, some are called to be drivers, some are called to be pilots, some are called to be politicians, not the ones people have in your country right now. Most of those people are just called to embezzle. Sorry, they call themselves to go and embezzle. Most of them are supposed to be primary school teachers. Some of them are supposed to be secondary school proprietors, but they've found their way into the government house to embezzle funds that doesn't belong to them. What I'm trying to say is, sometimes you are fitting in a square peg into a round hole, and it doesn't really work that way. When you're living a life of understanding, a life that knows where you are gifted in. I used to tell people, when you live in such a life, you find fulfillment in what you do. You don't get tired. You are always there doing it. Same thing happens to your relationships your relationships, your job, your daily life. Sometimes it might just be where you are. You're not supposed to be in amongst those people. Maybe you are staying in Ikoyi, and God has called you to come and stay in Agbuluegba. I know some of you say, God forbid. No. Your calling might just be in Agbuluegba. I'm serious. You might just be called to be in one ghetto like this for a particular reason. It might be to rescue someone from that ghetto. For real. And it might also be that you staying in Ikoyi might be an error, because perhaps one big man one day will get offended and he shoots gun in the air, and it's your head hitting it. I mean, do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's not about how eloquent where you are is. It's about, are you meant to be there? Are you meant to be in that relationship? Are you in that relationship? Are you meant to be in that business space? Are you meant to be doing that job? Are you meant to be carrying out that facility? Are you meant to be there? Is your calling there? I used to tell people, like I was trying to say earlier on, that those things you did when you were much younger, when you were maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, those things you enjoy doing are majorly reflection of what you really are. Yes, they are. Take for example, whilst I was growing up, I was obsessed with opening up gadgets. I was really obsessed with it. I was obsessed with it. Like, it was so bad that the TV in the house that was my age mate, I think TV was bought the same year I was born or something. I have no idea. I can't remember. But you see, that TV was there. It was never opened by anybody other than yours truly. And I can remember my mother was like, what happened to the TV? Why did you end up opening it? What was bad in it?" And I was like, no, there was nothing bad in it. I just wanted to see what it looks like so that when it goes bad, I'll know what to fix. And true to it, when it went bad, I was able to know what happened. I mean, you're talking about radios, you're talking about TV sets, you're talking about anything electronic. My screwdriver was on it. Trust me, it was always on it. So what I'm trying to say is, if you can think back to when you were 5, to when you were 4, if you remember if you still have your 4-year memory or 5-year memory, you would realize what you really want. I mean, career-wise, also in relationship, you would realize what you really wanted whilst you were much younger. So don't feel frustrated where you are. What you should do is take out time, pray, talk to God, and let Him open up the opportunity for where you are meant to be. Trust me, when you are where you are meant to be, you will thrive and you will flourish. You would blossom. Trust me, I'm not saying it to encourage you. I'm saying it because it is what it is. And then there is also the parts where you're supposed to be in a particular place or a particular person for a particular period of time. And I'm not saying that it's okay for you to go around, sleep around or something. I'm saying you don't have to do all that. You can actually just be friends with people. You can actually just, get that job to learn, get that employment to learn. Don't stay there. Don't stay in a place that you're supposed to stay for 2 years. Stay there for 20 years. You're the one that will lose. I'm saying the truth. If you understand these principles, if you understand these things, you realize that life becomes easier when you know that you are where you shouldn't be, or you are not yet where you should be, and you are struggling to get to that place. Case in point, a friend of mine grew up, born and bred in Nigeria, and I used to. We are very good friends. She's in Canada today with her family and everything. Do you know that if she was in Nigeria, first of all, her salary would have been exceeding 150,000 naira, and secondly, she would have been made to do stuff that she wouldn't want to do. Thirdly, she would have been always angry, would have been an angry bird. But today, she's blossoming wherever she is right now. They're abroad, she's blossoming there. So I'm not saying abroad is for everybody. You put her run abroad and run back home. I'm not saying that abroad is for everybody. I'm saying that if you find where you are meant to blossom and to grow without any personal hindrance, you would flourish, you would blossom. Trust me. Trust me on this one, you will flourish. So, how do you go about it? Firstly, is to pray. Secondly, search within yourself and ask yourself, what's that thing that I can do that will generate revenue, but I'll be comfortable and happy enough doing it for free? Yes. Some of you will feel like, oh, it's fashion designing. Okay, go back and do fashion design. Oh, I don't know if I'll get clients. My friend, stand up. Go and get your clientele. Go and get your certification, or go and get your skills up. Brush up your skills. Come on, and go back there. Oh, how would I survive? You will survive. Trust me. You will survive. You will survive. You will survive. And I'm saying this because if it's what you are meant to do, I was at the experience yesterday, and the day before I was actually at the experience ground, and I was on the stage, and something took my attention to Nathaniel Bassi. He came for sound check. Something took my attention to Nathaniel Bassi, and it struck me like, how could somebody grow so much to the world by just playing a trumpet? The same trumpet those people that do the brigade, in those parade guys use. The same trumpet that some of you played in your school as you were in secondary school or growing up. The very same trumpet. And he is globally known. And I think I could feel God telling me that if you are in the place where you are meant to be, you will find ways to be better and do better. And once you are there, you are doing what you should do, you would flourish, you would blossom completely. I assure you. Like President Buhari would say, I assure you. I can assure you that you will blossom, you would prosper so much. You would begin to ask yourself, is this selling ice block that has gotten me this far? Yes, it can be as little as selling ice block. Let me play it out for you. Imagine you didn't sell that ice block, and then there's someone who had an emergency in the vicinity where you would have sold ice block, and all they needed to do was to put an ice pack on the person's body to calm down the person's nerve or stop the bleeding or whatever it is, and you didn't do that business. That person possibly died just because of you. For the sake of the next person, people coming after you, people ahead of you, wherever they are in the grand scheme of things, go ahead and do what you are called to do. Trust me, go ahead to do what you are called to do. That way, you'll be achieving not just your goal and your dreams, you'd also transform lives and make lives beautiful around you, the lives around you more beautiful than they currently are. So, I hope with these few points of mine I've been able to not confuse but express myself and express the fact that they lied to you. They lied to you. They say you should just go to university, go and read medicine and come back. If that's not your calling, then you'll never thrive there. I love you all. God loves you. Have a wonderful day ahead.